This is no lockdown record. Right? It sounds and feels like coming from someone in a complete and content state of mind.
I want to make a record that's going to be really good live, and that word euphoric kept coming up because the Kooks, we've never really done any much euphoric music. I mean, maybe Naive has a euphoric chorus in a little way.
Look, we're delighted to be having this chat ahead of the Kooks October tour in Oz. It means so much to the music industry and fans to see the resurgence of live shows. There's been a cautious return for punters locally, just kind of feeling their way back confidence-wise. What's it been like in the UK?
Yeah, we're so excited. It came back with a big bang in the UK, I must say. Like, everyone went ballistic for gigs. So a little bit different, maybe. There's different mentalities, I feel, with the way that our two countries kind of dealt with things anyway. It's been amazing. I think people are just happy to be back together. The vibe's been like pretty much euphoric, I would say. And I just noticed like there's not any agginess or like, any issues. You always see that occasionally at gigs and stuff, but this since everything's been back, everyone's just been happy. So yeah, I'm really excited, and it's been a long time. We have such an amazing vibe with Australia, and it's been too long. I can't wait.
Oh man!
And because we're doing this a reunion tour, whatever. Yeah. Even though we're not getting back together, but we're a few years late. But it's going to be amazing, because we've got great memories. Australia is one of the first places we came and toured our first album.
Brill. I mean, it's a special tour for so many reasons, yeah? I'd love to hear about the decision-making process behind making it the Inside In, Inside Out album concept, and if that was a clear decision for you guys, or, the thinking around that.
It was just a good time to reflect. I think, we kind of we've entered quite a new sort of independent space in the past few years. I'm just all about, try and pick up vibes, and I just felt like people, like a new generation found our first album. And so I'm just picking up on that vibe. So I'm like, if that's happening, we've never done it. Let's go and play that record. And sort of almost like we're playing it as if it's a new record again, which is pretty wild. One of the real positives is like, music for many era can be new again for people, and that's really exciting, man.
Oh yeah, so great. And it's so great that you can get the data on that in an age where you can look and see, wow, our first record is being consumed by 16 to 24-year-olds, or it's an interesting and being able to respond to that means a lot.
Yeah, it is really cool, and you can do it, like you say, in kind of real time, and you can see it. You just pick up the vibes. It's just like my sister-in-law is a bit younger and her mates, or just people. You just pick up the vibe. People are into it, and so we're not one of those bands that when we play our tour, we don't just play our new album, and we want to go and like play and give people a really good time. We're entertainers, really. It's been really amazing, and it pushes us forward as well, really, because it's a celebration, and then move on to the next thing. It has been pretty much a mad nostalgia, crazy indie club night every night, basically.
I love that. I love that. What did jump out at me was the Freedom single. Congrats on that collab with the Epilots.
Yeah, it's really been kind of emotional and exciting. We played quite a few shows in Ukraine over the years, and I developed a good friendship with Pavlo, particularly from Epaulets, and great band. He supported us a few times, and basically just over what's been going on, we've just been keeping in touch, and it's quite weird, as you can imagine. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this who probably have similar experiences when you've known someone in such a work or like having beers at the bar, and then all of a sudden it's like they're in a war zone. So it's been quite quite crazy, really, talking to him and just doing what we can, trying to raise a bit of money for him. I mean, at the beginning, it was literally like they would, he was, putting grains and, what I don't know, seeds and stuff in Tupperware and trying to store it for his local community. And he's a brave guy, he stayed in Kiev, he didn't go. I mean, he's an amazing guy. And so anyway, I did nothing. All I was saying, I said, can I do anything to help? And he just said, let's do a track. So he sent me this great song he'd written, and I put some stuff on it, and it's a beautiful thing, really, to connect and to be able to connect with someone in that situation, and just at least to just be like, supportive and make people know that we're thinking about them.
Yeah, bro, I love the track. I did like the track very much, and I've discovered a new artist, so that's always wonderful. Look, the entire world was affected in various ways by the recent ongoing pandemic. It's particularly for those in the arts, we found it to be this catalyst for introspection, but also really interesting projects. I mean, you've had some really positive, interesting things happen in your life over the last couple of years. What was lockdown like for you?
At the beginning, there was definitely a sort of relief to me because I've been touring since I was 18. So being at home was kind of maybe the opposite for a lot of people. I was like, oh my God, this is like kind of cool. Like I can just, not have to rush off to the airport every week, and so that was cool. And but that got really boring really quickly. It was like the first bit. In general, it was what I needed to kind of sort out some stuff that was going on a bit deeper in myself, and that time was quite good for that. I feel like I kind of went in a boy and came out a man, if you know what I mean. That kind of feeling.
That's great.
I made a couple of records, obviously made a baby, which was like the most amazing thing ever. And now I'm knackered.
Yeah. And you will continue to be, my friend. You thought touring was tough.
I know, it's a different type of, it's like you think like, oh, I stayed awake for 3 days straight on tour, I'll be fine, but that's totally different. But it's the most beautiful thing in the world, obviously, as you know. Of course, it had the lockdowns and everything had an impact on the music. Of course, I think it would be crazy to think it didn't. And
it's interesting that you should say that. So 10 tracks to Echo in the Dark. It's the 6th full-length Kooks record. You also released it in segments, I think like 2 or 3 EPs in the lead up to then putting it all together and releasing it as one full thing. And the first thing I was going to say to you, but I decided to leave it to the end, was this is no lockdown record. This is... it sounds and feels like coming from someone in a complete and content state of mind. Like there is contemplative elements to it, but there's also a domestic bliss, even though nothing quite specific jumped out, but it was a general feeling for me that there was a contentment there, and less angsty. I mean, we get older and we're less angsty anyway, but
yeah, it's certainly not not doom and gloom, and it is meant to be played live. I think that was on my mind a lot. I was like, I don't want to make, I want to make a record that's going to be really good live, and euphoric. Again, that word euphoric kept coming up because the Kooks, we've never really done any much euphoric music. I mean, maybe Naive has a euphoric chorus in a little way, but yeah, especially our first few albums are like you say, angsty kind of, it's angsty in the kind of. This one, it was nice. It was just like getting some of the kind of tempos, bringing the tempos down a bit, and having a lot of space as well. In the recording process, it was like my big aim was to really do something which we strip stuff back a bit, so in your face, so you get hopefully some really nice euphoric synths that are really present and not with like loads of guitars and loads of everything. It's everything having a bit.
I mean, the hallmarks are there, man. Look, despite the incredibly slick production as your albums progressed, at their core, these are delightful, jangly guitar songs that would translate wonderfully acoustic, and that speaks to your writing process. Was there anything different about writing this record because of the circumstances under which it was, brought to life?
Yeah. It was challenging to break up the flows. Was challenging because when you make a record, like the way I like to make a record is, you kind of do like loosely, but you do like writing, pre-production, record, right? And then when you record, you can get into like a really nice flow and you get like a good spirit and everyone's having a good time, everyone's together. Sometimes everyone's having a really shit time. So everyone's there, you know what I mean? And you're kind of working together. And so it was difficult on this one to break it up. It was like the flow, you'd really get into a flow of working and then it would be like, okay, we can't get in a room or whatever. So that was challenging. And we, we would have finished the record so much sooner. Right. So it really, really like was a long process to get it all done, and just everything like mixing and mastering and getting the vinyls made, like everything was just messed up, so fair play. Like we have like an insanely cool team and they managed to get it all out at the right time and stuff. But it's just, sometimes it's just frustrating when you've got a song, like I was thinking on songs that I love for like 2 years and you really want them out. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
But
it's the way the story goes. I don't think that's ever going to change. By the time you're finished a project at home, you're starting a new one and you're already excited about the new stuff, and it hasn't even been mixed or mastered. Yeah, so I totally understand that and empathize with that. It's a thing in the arts. It's never going to change. So look, you're here in October. The Enmore Theatre is just up the road from here. Enmore is my hometown as well. So we look forward to seeing you guys here. I think Tuesday, the 12th of October, if I'm not mistaken, you'll be in Enmore.
Yeah. I think we're actually doing the 2 nights.
Oh, sick.
Great. So I think it's 12th and 13th, I believe, but I might have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure we added another date. So,
fantastic.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's a beautiful theatre. It really is.
Well, when you're here, we will find a way to catch up and shout you a schooner.
Oh, I'd love that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I love a schooner.
Yeah, it'll stay cold to the bottom, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, look, thanks so much for your time and enjoy your tour. And we look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Thanks so much, man. Great chatting. And I'll catch you when we're down under.
Our pleasure.
See you then, man.
Thanks, Luke. Cheers, bro. The third or fourth result on Google is something about you chilling in Sussex, right? And I read this piece and it mentions Sussex 60 times. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah,
and
I have no idea. I mean, everything's wrong. I mean, on Wikipedia, for some reason, I mean, there's loads of crazy stuff on our Wikipedia page. I don't know who does Wikipedia pages. I don't even know. When I was like 17, 16 or something, I moved to Brighton.
Okay. And
that's where I met the Kooks. So basically, because the Kooks started in Brighton, we kind of became known as like this Brighton band. And Hugh is from Sussex, so the guitar player, 100%. But I mean, I'll be an honorary Sussex man. I love Sussex. They got great cider.
Hey, look, I ditched the site.